I'm Todd Lewis from Fiasco Sports, reporting for the SA Footballer magazine. Today I'm joined by Dave Kennewell from the Flinders Football Club in Division 3, and he's going to do our weekly roundup. So we'll just go through the results from the weekend. Athelston had a big win over Kilburn by 22 goals. Seaton Ramblers had a close win over Golden Grove by 5 points. Mitcham got over Plympton by 53 points. Walkerville had a big win over Jeps Cross by 64 points. And Flinders Park also had a pretty pleasing result, getting up by 57 points over Pembroke Old Scholars. Must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, I was very pleased, Todd. Our focus was intense pressure on the opposition, Pembroke, who have had a fantastic year, and albeit they had a couple of their stars out yesterday. This time of year we're trying to get everybody right for finals, and yesterday's game was very important for second position in a home final. So really pleasing to get a really strong win yesterday.
How did you see the game play out? Did you get on top early?
I think we kicked the first couple of goals. I think it was 3-4 to 4-1 at quarter time, and then the second quarter was probably the best quarter we've played all year, kicking 7 goals, 1 to a goal, and really set the game up from there. And half time, last time we were out at Pembroke in round 8 this year. We were up 6 goals to 1 through halfway through the second quarter, and lost by 11 goals. So there was certainly something to draw back on, and we certainly talked about that at half time. Thankfully that we kept our pressure up and played well.
What do you think was the difference between when you played Pembroke last time and this time? Do you have a bit more personnel available, or was it just the fact that you brought more intensity to the game?
It's definitely intensity. It's about learning as well, learning about the opposition. We've done a lot of research on both Athelston and Pembroke, and we know how they play and how they like to play, as I'm sure they do with us. But we had a point to prove yesterday. Our captain played his 150th game, and he's a legend of the club, and we wanted to prove something not only for him, but make sure we send a message to the opposition that we're going to be around the mark.
Who were some of your better performers in the win?
Young Chad Komatajani, hard to say, very good player, but he kicked 4 fantastic goals, and so we had a lot of contributors. We probably had 19 winners on the week yesterday, and so there was Chad, there was Lee Ormond, a recruit from Two Wells, Thomas Dunn, who is our fullback and has been having a fantastic year, injury interrupted, but they were probably the 3 of the better players yesterday. Yep.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to next week's games. If I can just get a tip on each game. Jeps Cross take on Golden Grove. Who do you think will win that one?
Jeps have had a tough year, obviously, with all, on and off the field. And I really feel for Ben Armstrong at Golden Grove. He's probably lost 5 games under a goal. But I think Golden Grove will want to go out on a good note. I think they'll win pretty easy.
Athelston take on Seaton Ramblers. You mentioned Athelston as one of the sides you're trying to figure out a little bit.
Yes. Well, we beat them, I think, round 2 or 3, and they haven't lost since. I think we woke the beast. But Seaton are a very up and down team. Against the good teams, they've beaten Athelston, they've beaten Seaton before, Pembroke before. They've beaten us. But they've lost to Plympton, or they've lost to the lower team. So they're very, depending on who they play, it depends on who comes out. So I think Athelston should win, but I wouldn't discount Seaton.
Okay, Plympton take on Kilburn. Kilburn obviously struggling on the weekend.
Yeah. I think they put the white flag up a month or 2 ago, and I guess just trying to keep the club going. And I know that the Plympton boys haven't been that far away this year. They've lost a couple of close games, and they've had some good wins. Well coached by Damien Minavini, and I think though this week will be Plympton. Plympton will finish off on a high note.
Walkerville will take on Pembroke Old Scholars.
I think it could be tougher training this week. I think Mick could have a crack at Pembroke boys. Sorry, who are they playing?
Walkerville.
Okay, and they've had a tough year, Walkerville. I think Pembroke will bounce back very well this week.
And you head home to Flinders Park this week to take on Mitcham, obviously be hoping to get another win on the board.
Yeah, it's we hope it's at home. We actually haven't trained in our oval for 4 weeks. We weren't able to play at our home on Saturday. It's been destroyed pretty much. We've got that many kids, and the weather and the whole scenario, it's been tough. So we may be at home, we may be at Thebby, we may be elsewhere, but You know, Mitcham have got something to play for this week. They're playing for a home final because if Athelston beat Seaton and Mitcham beat us, they get a home final. So they'll be coming to play, and there's no doubt. But we'll be well prepared. We'll be ready to go, and we're sort of aiming for that finals form.
Has the fact that you haven't been able to train on your oval thrown you out a little bit? Have you been able to adjust okay and found other places to get your work in?
Yeah, we've trained in some quite different places. We've been training different times. So we've been at the North Adelaide Aquatic Centre. We've been at Thebby. We've been on Friday nights. We've been on Wednesday nights. We were at Wingfield last Thursday night with a very small amount of lighting. But the boys have been very resilient. What we've tried to do is try to keep them away from all that and just let them know what they need to know. And we've try to control as best we can and make sure our training is not too hard on a Friday night, but harder when we do get a full ground. So it has been difficult, but sort of shows. I think it shows the resilience of the players and the tight knit of the group that they're able to continue to perform well under circumstances.
Obviously, the last round this week. What are your overall expectations for the rest of the year now?
I really don't want any injuries. We've had. Considering our injuries this year, I know that Mick will be the same, and same with Jade. The amount of people going overseas and all sorts of stuff. The expectation is to just perform well and be able to look in the mirror and say that I've given everything I've got. And whether you win, lose or draw, you know, that sometimes is out of your hands. But as long as you can look in the mirror and look at your mates and say that I've given my best, that's all we're looking for.
Okay, thank you, David. I'm Todd Lewis from Fiasco Sports, reporting for the SA Footballer magazine. I've been joined by David Kennewell from the Flinders Park Football Club in Division 3, and he's done our weekly roundup.